That's the moon. Well, what the heck is that?
It's believed to be a Chinese surveillance balloon over the state of Montana. China's foreign ministry, though, saying it's a civilian airship used for research, mainly for weather purposes. But its presence and the Biden administration's response causing controversy, criticism, and plenty of questions. Among them, what's it doing over a U.S. nuclear missile silo field? And why wasn't it shot down?
Yeah, the balloon sighting coming ahead of the Secretary of State making his first trip to Beijing this weekend. Asa Hutchinson is the former Republican governor of Arkansas. When you heard all of this, what were your thoughts?
In reference to the China satellite or surveillance balloon, this is a great concern. I mean, this is extraordinary. I think it is important to rely upon the intelligence community as to why is it here? If it is a civilian craft, then it was even that would cause great concern because they can do spying through civilian aircraft as well. So I think this is a very serious matter for the security of the United States. And once you get the facts, you need to make a very firm decision as to what happens next. But the strongest message should be sent to China that this is unacceptable. Whether this is an accident, which is hard to believe, or if it's intentional, then it needs to have a very firm response.
Yeah, the president deciding not to shoot down the balloon for fears that it could cause some civilian injury when it were to make its way down to earth. Let me ask you, though, sir, about the impact of China and even foreign policy and dealing with the CCP ahead of the upcoming 2024 presidential race. How will this change based on even candidates who had to approach foreign policy 4 years ago?
Well, I think it will be a major issue as to how the candidates and how we as a nation address China. They're the second leading economic power. You cannot disconnect easily and completely from that, the economic connections. But at the same time, whenever you're looking at our chip manufacturing, when you're looking at our sensitive technologies, we have to move that back from China. So economically, we have to stop being so reliant upon a China-centric supply chain. Secondly, in terms of security, it is unacceptable when they violate the international rules, whenever they suppress freedom in that country, including religious freedom. We have to be able to understand they're not just a competitor, but they're a security concern as well. And so this should be an issue, and I think we need to have a strong position in reference to our security in relation to China.
You know, it's interesting the timing of this, too, because we had an Air Force general speak out earlier this week saying that we need to take China seriously, that we could be at war with them over Taiwan by 2025. Is this not kind of in line with that we should be taking China more seriously as a threat?
Well, particularly in reference to Taiwan, you know, we've had an ambiguous policy. We have a commitment to defend Taiwan, but at the same time, we recognize a one China policy, and that strategic ambiguity, I think you have to consider as to whether that's the right policy for the future. The president has been very clear, President Biden, that we're going to defend Taiwan, and we need to make sure that they are prepared and that they have the equipment that's needed. And that we do everything that we can, including making sure that Ukraine is well supported to defeat Russia in their invasion. That helps us in reference to China. So it's not just China in isolation, but it's the strength that we show globally, including the strength and the urgency that we treat the invasion of Ukraine.
The U.S. expected to announce some new security funding for Ukraine, including those long-range missiles. So the funding, that definitely continues out of Washington. Let me switch gears with you, sir, and talk to you about something coming out of your own state, by the way. The current governor, Sarah Sanders, will be giving the Republican response to the State of the Union this next Tuesday. What are your expectations to hear from Governor Sanders? Why do you think she was chosen to represent the Republicans' response to the president's State of the Union address?
I think she was chosen because she has a great story. The fact that she is a female governor, the first ever elected in Arkansas. The fact that it's the first father-daughter combination of governors in our American history, and the fact that she has a good message. She was President Trump's defender-in-chief as a communications director, and so she's going to have a powerful message. It's obviously going to center upon her story, but also counter-punch as to what Biden's message is, the insecure border, the inflationary pressures that we're under, how it's hurting Americans. So very excited the fact that she's been chosen for that, good representative of Arkansas, but also will be a good voice for the Republican Party.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what she touches on during that address. Well, as you know, last Wednesday, AT&T's DirecTV removed Newsmax from 13 million homes. Dozens of lawmakers have called it censorship, and this is the second conservative channel that DirecTV has canceled in a year. More broadly speaking, though, before Elon Musk, Twitter censored conservatives. Other big tech companies are doing similar things. Do you see this as a trend going forward into the 2024 presidential election?
Well, I think the trend will be the necessity of continued oversight. You always want to be reluctant whenever there's government solutions that tells the private sector what they can and cannot do in their contractual relationships. But whenever you have serious major platforms like Twitter, like DirecTV, you want to make sure that they're treating the marketplace fairly and that they're following the rules. So I think there will be oversight hearings on these matters, and trying to balance fairness with the government not trying to control and overregulate what's been a free market system. I'm a fan of Newsmax. I want you to continue to expand your visibility across America, and hope that opportunity continues to present itself.
Well, we thank you for that, sir. And again, we really do it for the viewers, right? They're able to hear from candidates who you might not hear from on every other network. That is former Governor of Arkansas, Asa Hutchinson. Thank you, sir. We appreciate your time today.
Good to be with you. Thank you.
Well, as we had just mentioned, last Wednesday, AT&T's DirecTV removed Newsmax from 13 million homes. A number of lawmakers have called it censorship. It's the second conservative-leaning channel DirecTV has canceled within the year. DirecTV claims that they're saving you money. It's not true. They're keeping 22 liberal news channels that cost you much more than Newsmax. They've got lower ratings. President Trump has even weighed in on the matter. He's calling Americans to tell them if you're a DirecTV subscriber, you can cancel them. He says if you're an AT&T customer, you could cancel your cell phone service or internet, and tens of thousands of people called last week. You can support free speech and Newsmax. You can oppose censorship. We got the numbers there on your screen, or you can head to iwantnewsmax.com.